I'm just gonna come out and say it. The last episode in Season 2 of Jujutsu Kaisen is pretty damn confusing. To me at least. But after rewatching it a couple of times, I finally understood what was going on. So, here's what I got. There are a lot of different things to focus on, but I'm gonna start with what Yuki and Pseudo-Geto talked about for like half the episode. Their conversation is mostly for both of them to stall time. Yuki apparently wants to buy time for her ally LaRue to do something. I honestly didn't know who this guy is, and he doesn't show up later, so you can pretty much forget about him. And Geto needs time to extract Maito's curse technique for his plan. Their yapping goes on for a couple of minutes. It's basically just a continuation of what Yuki said to Geto the first time they talked. They're discussing the future of humanity. Yuki thinks humanity needs to get rid of cursed energy, and Pseudo-Geto believes that cursed energy should be optimized. To achieve this goal, he wants to quote-unquote create chaos beyond his control, and he needs idle transfiguration to do that. Here we get some important context. During the past 1000 years that he lived, he made binding vows with multiple strong sorcerers across the ages, to turn them into cursed objects in exchange for being incarnated in the future. Sukuna is a perfect example for this. We also learned that Pseudo-Geto marked around 1000 non-sorcerers ahead of time, and those are split into two groups. The first group are the ones who ingested cursed objects. They will serve as vessels for the reincarnated sorcerers. The second group are those who are born with a curse technique, but were unable to use it because of their brain structure. With idle transfiguration, he strengthened the vessels to be able to hold the reincarnated sorcerers, and modified the brains of the others to the point where they can use their curse technique. After that, he broke the seal on those cursed objects and started the Culling Game. With that, you have 1000 new sorcerers and a bunch of reincarnated homicidal maniacs from the past in an all-out battle royale, which we'll get to see more of in Jujutsu Kaisen Season 3. After this, we see Geto summon a bunch of cursed spirits. In the anime, they come from pretty much everywhere, but the manga makes it pretty clear that all of them come from Geto's cursed spirit manipulation. Later we learned that he released at least 10 million cursed spirits right here. Okay, pause. When I first saw this, I did not believe this number, simply because it would be almost impossible for Pseudo-Geto to have so many curses absorbed. In the night parade of 100 demons, Geto said he would release 2000 cursed spirits, and the sorcerers thought that was a stretch. But let's say he did what he said and still had curses left over to fight Yuta. I'd say he could have had 3000 cursed spirits at this point, and that was 10 months ago. Then Pseudo-Geto took over his body. And if we're really charitable, I believe he could have absorbed somewhere around 10,000 cursed spirits in the 10 months he had leading up to the Shibuya Incident. So I thought, is this a translation error? So I looked for the Japanese manga. Then I realized, I can't read Japanese. But I still have the panel, so if any of you watching know Japanese and want to let me know if the translation of 10 million is accurate, that would be great. Other translations that I could understand stated no less than 1 million cursed spirits, but that's still way too high. But I figured, if the official translation for the anime and the manga both say 10 million, the translation is probably correct. But it doesn't make sense, so there are two possibilities. Either I'm wrong, which is unlikely, or whoever is saying this in the show is mistaken. I guess it's some guy inside Jujutsu headquarters trying to handle the situation, and they probably don't know the exact number, so they just picked a really big one. But all we can say for sure is that Pseudo-Geto released a lot of cursed spirits in Tokyo. Afterwards, he flees with the prison realm and announces to the viewers that the golden age of Jujutsu will come back, just like it was in the Heian era. Then we cut away to a 5-minute exposition dump, which basically just shows us that everything is in chaos right now. 23 wards of Tokyo have been destroyed, which is all of them. So pretty much all of Tokyo has been made uninhabitable to the point where they had to evacuate 5 million people. Did you know that Japan is split into 47 prefectures that are divided among 9 regions of Japan? Because I didn't. And each prefecture is split into municipals. Municipals are cities, villages, or towns, and Tokyo has one extra, called Special Wards of Tokyo, like Shibuya. But that's it for my little geography lesson. Back to Jujutsu Kaisen. Another thing that is mentioned is the political and also literal void that engulfs Tokyo. A lot of regulatory bodies and politicians have apparently disappeared and are in danger right now. All of this has caused the yen to lose a lot of value. This crash of the Japanese economy was already hinted at by Meimei, by the way. To counteract the destruction, Jujutsu headquarters decided to make the existence of cursed spirits public, with the added information that they only appear in Tokyo. Cursed spirits are created from negative feelings, and all this panic would just cause more of them to appear all across Japan. By making the public believe that cursed spirits are limited to Tokyo only, they basically pool all of the negative thoughts there, which keeps the cursed spirits contained. Since pretty much all of Tokyo is going to be evacuated, it won't matter if there are thousands of cursed spirits roaming around. But simply letting the world know about cursed spirits is probably going to have some effects down the line. It's hinted at that other countries may try to perform military intervention. But yeah, that's about it. So just to summarize, the last episode of Season 2 lets us know the following things. There are millions of curses in Tokyo, probably less. There are around 1,000 new sorcerers running around trying to kill each other. Tokyo's been almost completely destroyed and abandoned. Japan's economy is crashing, and the public knows that cursed spirits exist.